I never thought the day I'd lose my family would start with the smell of roast chicken and candle wax. But that's how it happened. The moment I realized I wasn't their son anymore. I was just the ATM they kept in the spare room. My name is Elias. I'm 36. I own 7 neighborhood markets now, small, clean, profitable places where people still know your name when you check out. I built them shelf by shelf, shift by shift, while everyone else in my house treated money like it fell from the sky and landed only in my lap. That Sunday, I walked into my parents' house carrying a cheap apple pie from my own store and a knot in my gut I couldn't name yet. Mom was fluttering around in her company mode, good plates, too many candles, that tight smile she wears when she's about to orchestrate something. Dad was parked in his recliner, volume up on the game. My younger brother Noah was sprawled on the couch, grinning at his phone like he'd just won a prize. He looked up when I came in. There he is, the king of canned goods. I laughed. I always laugh. It's easier than starting a fight no one else thinks is happening. Dinner was quiet until it wasn't. Noah tapped his glass like he was giving a toast at the Oscars. Mom's eyes lit up before he even spoke. Dad muted the TV. You could feel the room tilt toward Noah the way it always does. I asked Lila to marry me, he said, flipping his phone around to show the ring. A diamond the size of a lie, sparkling under perfect lighting. Mom gasped like she'd been holding that sound in her whole life. Dad gave the proud nod. I smiled, automatic, practiced, and said, "Congratulations, man. That's huge." Noah soaked it in, then turned to me with that razor grin he saves just for me. You know what's funny, Elias? My fork paused halfway to my mouth. That rock cost more than you've ever spent on a date. Mom laughed too quickly. Dad grunted something that sounded like agreement. I felt the heat crawl up my neck. Noah kept going. I mean, you're always talking about someday. But you're not even seeing anyone, right? So what exactly are you saving all that money for? Dust. Mom reached over and squeezed Noah's hand like he was the brave one for saying it. Your brother's starting his life, she said softly, looking at me like I was the one holding everyone back. When you find someone special, we'll all help you, won't we? I stared at my plate. The chicken suddenly tasted like cardboard. I smiled again. Can't wait, I said. Noah winked. Yeah, if you ever find someone who'll put up with you. They all laughed. I laughed with them. But inside, something cracked. Just a hairline fracture. Nothing dramatic yet. You need to understand the pattern. I was the reliable one. The one who showed up with cash when rent was short, when the car died, when Noah's latest sure-thing business collapsed. Mom called him free-spirited. I called it expensive, but never out loud. I'd been putting money aside for years into an account I labeled, stupidly sentimental, future. Not flashy vacations, not cars, not watches. Just the quiet dream that one day I'd stand somewhere beautiful with someone I loved and not have to worry if we could afford it. Mom was listed as an authorized signer. In case something happens to you, she'd said. Family should look out for family. I believed her. I was dating someone. Her name is Sophia. We met when she came into my flagship store looking for the perfect mango. She held 2 up to the light like she was testing diamonds. I made a dumb joke about fruit ripeness. She laughed with her whole face. We started talking. Quiet dinners. Long drives after I closed the books. She sat in my office while I finished payroll, just reading beside me, her foot brushing mine under the desk. I didn't tell my family. I wanted something that was only mine. Something they couldn't turn into a punchline or a request. But that night at dinner, when Noah said, "You're not even dating anyone," it landed like a slap. A few days later, Mom called. Voice syrupy. Noah's just so excited, but the ring turned out to be a little more than he planned. I waited. I hate asking, Elias, but you have that savings account. The one you're not really using right now. It would mean the world. I cut her off. That's my money, Mom. Silence. Then the tone shifted. Don't be selfish. It's family. I told her no. She told me I was punishing my brother for finding love. I thought that was the end of it. It wasn't. A week later, I was restocking coffee filters when my phone buzzed. Bank alert. Large withdrawal pending. I froze in the aisle. $52,000. Cashier's check. Payable to a high-end jeweler 2 towns over. My hands shook so badly I almost dropped the phone. I called Mom. She answered on the first ring, cheerful as Sunday morning. Did you take money from my account? A pause. Then, cool as ice, Elias, don't make this ugly. I drove straight there. Noah's car in the driveway. Of course. I walked in without knocking. Mom was wiping the counter like nothing was wrong. Noah was at the table, scrolling jewelry sites, grinning. I held up my phone. Explain. Mom didn't flinch. Noah needed it for the ring. Noah laughed. Bro, chill. It's an investment in my future. I looked at him. You stole my wedding money to buy your fiancée a diamond. He shrugged. You're not even dating anyone. Mom stepped between us. Stop saying, your wedding money, like you're the victim here. Something inside me went very still. I looked at my mother, the woman who used to kiss my scraped knees, and said, you're off every account. Today. Her face hardened. You do that to your own mother. I already did. Noah stood up. You're seriously cutting me off over a ring. Over theft, I said. Over being treated like a walking wallet my whole life. Dad wandered in. Annoyed at the noise. Mom immediately spun the story, Elias is attacking us because we helped Noah. Dad looked at me like I'd grown a second head. It's just money, son. I almost laughed. It's my money. And it's gone. I walked out. Told them if another cent disappeared, I'd file a report. Mom screamed after me that I was tearing the family apart. Noah yelled that I'd die alone. I got in my car and drove. I waited for the guilt to crush me. It didn't come. Instead, I felt light. That night I told Sophia everything. She listened without interrupting, then said quietly, they don't love you, Elias. They love what you provide. I asked if she still wanted to marry me, even if the money we dreamed of using was gone. She smiled. I want you. The rest is just details. We didn't plan revenge. We planned peace. 6 months later, we flew to Bali with 8 people who actually cared about us. We rented a cliffside villa that looked like it had been carved out of a dream, private infinity pool, open air everything, staff who smiled like they meant it. The ceremony was barefoot on warm teak. Sophia walked toward me in a simple white dress, hair loose, holding frangipani. I cried before she even reached me. We ate under string lights. Laughed until our sides hurt. Danced badly to songs only we loved. It cost more than most people make in years. And every cent was mine, earned, saved, protected this time. We posted a few photos a week later. Simple caption, we said yes to forever. My phone exploded. 142 missed calls. Texts pouring in like a dam had broken. Mom, how could you do this without us? Noah, real classy, bro rubbing it in our faces. Mom again, you spent how much? After everything we've been through. Noah, guess you finally found someone desperate enough. I read them by the pool, ocean breeze in my hair, Sophia asleep on my chest. I turned the phone face down. For the first time in my life, no one was asking me for anything. And I realized that's what family is supposed to feel like. Not obligation. Not extraction. Just peace. So here I am, telling you this because I need to ask you something. If the people who raised you looked you in the eye and chose a stranger's diamond over your dreams, would you still call them family? Or would you finally choose yourself? Let me know in the comments. I read every single one. Thanks for watching. Do subscribe for more stories.